In Haruto's cabinet, he plays video games. Charlotte is watching anime and Flay is cleaning. Suddenly, Haruto remembers he has to pick an attendant. He says it out loud. Flay and Charlotte wonder about it. Haruto acts fast, excuses, and leaves for a walk. Who would he choose to be his attendant? Haruto wanders in the forest, thinking of a candidate. He is glad as well that Flay has not noticed what he said. He recognizes a road in the forest. When he takes the road, he comes by the skeleton community. Here live the skeletons that were called by the summoners 5 years ago. After Haruto defeated the Summoners and gave the skeletons free will, Haruto gave them a land to be their habitat. And they consider Haruto their savior commander. They give Haruto a warm welcome. With their leader Johnny in the front, Haruto is amazed by their growth and asks Johnny about the monsters that he noticed wandering and working in the city. Johnny reveals that Flay rounded them up throughout the province because they have nowhere to go. Johnny ensures it's safe and everyone follows his orders. Haruto doesn't recall this district being here during his previous visit, meaning they are expanding. He's fine with them living here as long as there's peace. Johnny astonishes Haruto by revealing there are more districts and then takes him on a tour. Johnny presents their farm where they cultivate seasonal crops, ensuring they have enough food for winter. Fortunately, their farming skills are improving, and have even succeeded in growing vegetables they couldn't manage last year. Still, skeletons don't eat. Instead, they farm to provide for the monsters and accommodate more of their kind. This demonstrates to Haruto their selflessness. They continue the tour, exploring additional food sources and witnessing how he guides the community. Johnny's character attracts Haruto. He is loyal to him, kind and fastidious, a polite demeanor, which makes Haruto consider taking him as an attendant on his trip to the capital city to attend magic school. If Haruto could add some flesh to him, would he then be the perfect attendant? Unfortunately, no. As Haruto spends a little more time with Johnny, he notices he is talkative, which would lead Haruto to insane if he had to listen to him each and every day. Haruto excuses and leaves. He is by the lake when the giant golem shows up. She accompanies Haruto. She then offers him a rose, which he accepts happily. She gets shy when he thanks her. The giant golem is a lot gentler than it looks. It would be a good attendant. But she is huge. Seeing her often by herself prompts Haruto to inquire about it. She tells him that she has special feelings. At first, he thinks she means she really likes this place. But then she corrects herself and says that she loves him. Haruto avoids the situation. On his way back to the cabinet, he is desperate to find a proper attendant. As he steps into the room, Flay is already there. She eagerly asks about the assistant matter he brought up earlier. Unfortunately, she has already heard about it. For seconds Haruto thinks about taking her as his attendant, but he agrees with his father that she is not a proper candidate. He answers strictly that it's none of her business. Somewhere in the kingdom, a bunch of hunters are on the hunt for a blizzard dragon. They find it up in the snowy mountains. The dragon uses the high winds to fly away before they can catch it. Sadly, because of the harsh weather, the dragon loses control and crashes into the snow. This triggers an avalanche, and the dragon gets trapped in it and passes out. Back at the castle, Gold tells Haruto and Flay about a missing blue dragon near the borders. Gold explains that although the dragon isn't in their territory, it could return and pose a threat to civilians. He requests Flay to handle the situation. Flay immediately declines, stating that she won't take orders from him. Haruto steps in and commands her to follow the order. Flay clarifies that she's reluctant because she isn't familiar with any large blue dragon. This suggests the dragon hid during the war between demons and humans, so she's not eager to aid a coward. Haruto asks his father for some time to consider the matter. Charlotte has been listening by the door. Driven by her feelings, she requests their help for the wounded and defenseless blue dragon. As usual, Haruto doesn't turn down a plea from Charlotte. He then tells Flay to prepare to save the dragon. He asks Flay to get ready to rescue the dragon. Near the borders, Haruto in his Black Knight disguise uses his magic to find the dragon. Then he notices the hunters getting close to the dragon and close to finding it. Haruto immediately attacks the hunters before they can attack the dragon. Then he uses his magic to heal the dragon's wounds. Flay gets angry because they are going after a weak, helpless creature. She releases her anger and strikes them with fire. Luckily, Haruto is there. He blocks her fires and saves them from burning to death. The hunters pass away, while the dragon wakes up. The dragon puffs cold, freezing Haruto. Flay orders her to show respect. Sarcastically, Haruto tells her it is fine, and that she must have gotten tired while running from hunters. Then, he shouts at the dragon, making it obvious he was not serious. He angrily orders the dragon to act well, or he will unheal her wounds. The dragon communicates directly with Haruto's mind, just like Flay did when they first met. The dragon is amazed that he actually helped her. While she talks, Haruto asks who she is. She avoids answering and instead questions Flay about why a demon like her would follow a human. Flay then proceeds to share the entire story since she met Haruto. It takes her about an hour to finish telling the story. During her explanation, Flay mentions that Haruto is the reincarnated demon king, a falsehood that Haruto came up with. Flay still believes it's true. The dragon is surprised to learn that the demon king has been reincarnated. The dragon apologizes for not joining the demons in the war due to her aversion to fighting. Haruto asks what she has been doing all this time and where she has been. The dragon reveals she spent 300 years living a quiet life in a cave. Initially, she stayed curled up deep inside the cave. But one day, an adventurer stayed the night and left a book behind. She read that book repeatedly, fueling her desire for more knowledge. This led her to leave the cave and visit human villages to collect books in her human form. Over time, she did this countless times and gained vast knowledge. Unfortunately, hunters eventually discovered her. During their pursuit, all her books were burned, forcing her to flee the cave and end up where she did. Flay becomes emotional upon hearing her sad story. She allows the dragon to stay in Pandemonium, the name Charlotte gave to the small city inhabited by skeletons and demons. The dragon gratefully accepts and pledges her loyalty and obedience. She acknowledges Haruto as her master and is willing to give her life for him. The dragon transforms into her human form. Haruto, having experience with Flay, quickly covers her with suitable clothes to prevent her from being naked. Haruto introduces himself. The dragon asks Haruto to give her a name since she doesn't have one. After some thought, Haruto names her Liza. They seem to get along. However, Flay intervenes and informs Liza that she was the first to serve Haruto, while Liza is the second. Haruto ends the conversation abruptly, takes flight, and asks them to follow him. Liza unfurls her wings and follows Haruto, provoking Flay's competitiveness. Flay, driven by competition, runs to keep up with them. Would Haruto take Liza as his attendant? Or will Flay decline that and cause a threat to Liza? Subscribe to the channel to know. Check other anime recaps in the playlists and do not forget to hit the like button. And see you in the next adventure.